Today we are going to be talking about unpopular or controversial packing tips when it comes to Disney Cruise Line. Hey, it's KJ.
And John.
Welcome to my channel. At the top of my list, and this might be a very unpopular opinion, but I guess that's the whole point of this list, is a pop-up hamper. This is on like every list. This is on every Disney World packing list, on every Disney Cruise Line packing list, every Disneyland packing list, and I just don't get it. When we were going on our first Disney cruise, I mean, you guys, I must have watched, I don't know how many Disney Cruise packing videos, how many Disney Cruise packing tip videos, how many like Disney Cruise Line like vlogs, and people rave about the pop-up hamper. But we're not pop-up hamper people, are we?
No, I don't know that it serves a purpose and takes up space in your luggage.
It does. Well, I know they can like fold flat, but like...
But even flat takes up space.
I suppose. But, well, you don't take anything. I take a mesh laundry bag, and I think this is so much better than the pop-up hamper. And let me tell you why. So the pop-up hamper, and unless you're going to do laundry on your trip, which I mean, I guess some people do, but we typically don't. The pop-up hamper, you put all the clothes in the pop-up hamper, and then what? Then you just have to take it out and put it in your bag. So it seems like extra work. I would recommend using the mesh laundry bag versus the pop-up hamper, because otherwise you're just stuck with a hamper. And then what are you doing with the clothes? Like, where are they going? Right? Like, where are they going? So
you gotta fold them all,
I guess, or just throw them in your bag, but then don't they like mix with your clean clothes? I don't know. I would not recommend the pop-up hamper. The next one, again, unpopular, is the hooks. Now, we didn't use any hooks on any of the cruises we've been on, right? We've never used any hooks.
Nope. I'm curious as to what you're going to even say that they're used for.
People use them for hats, which we have hats, but we're usually wearing them or something.
On my head.
Yeah. So even at night, like we just put them, we don't hang them. They just go with like our stuff that we're going to take out the next day.
Yeah.
So I don't really see it as a space saver. Some people might. I don't. And I mean, they're not really strong enough to hang bathing suits on. I've seen people talk about hanging their bathing suits on, but unless you have these like industrial hooks, which if you do, please let me know. Send me the Amazon link like in the comments down below, but I can't really find ones that are like that strong that are going to hold up a wet bathing suit.
But if they're industrial, they're also taking up a lot of space in your bag, right? I mean, because if it's something that's thick and strong.
I don't mean like that big. I mean, maybe not that large, but like stronger to hold like a wet bathing suit.
Yeah, it's
got to be pretty sturdy. So we're not about the hooks. And
here's the other thing though. We have, every time we've cruised, we've had a veranda. I think we usually put our wet bathing suits out there on those chairs.
Do we?
Yep.
You're not afraid of them falling off?
Nope. Well, we're not always in motion when we're putting them out there.
Guess.
We've put them out there because I've done it because I have to retrieve them.
Oh. Because
you won't go out there.
No, I will not. I don't like going out there.
So I'm always out there. And yes,
you guys didn't know. I do not like the veranda.
So they'll dry out there on the veranda. Not on the rail, on like the seats and the table.
I guess. Yeah, I guess so. Or you can hang them in the shower. So either one.
Could do that too.
But I don't know. We just don't.
And a lot of times they'll dry on you because you're just in them all the time. So if you're out of the water for any amount of time on the pool deck, they're going to dry. So
yeah, that's pretty true too. I mean, we've only really gone
sopping wet. Like at the resort, you sometimes go right from the pool to your hotel room, got to change because you're going back to the park. But because on the cruise ship, you're in your bathing suit so long, you're usually pretty dry by the time you get back to your room.
Yeah.
And have to change for dinner.
Yeah, I'd agree with Johnny there. So yeah, we're not about the hooks. The other thing people use the hooks for are lanyards, which brings us to the next one on the list. I don't think you need lanyards. We've never used them. I had them for our first cruise. We got them, like once you go on your first cruise and you go on like your second and beyond, you're part of the Castaway Club. We got like the free ones. We've got like a ton of the ones or complimentary ones, whatever you want to call it. We don't use them.
Are you talking about to like wear your room key? I don't even know what you're talking. Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. You don't even know because we don't do it.
Yeah.
Like I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess so you don't have to carry a wallet.
But
I always do anyway.
Yeah.
Because I don't like putting my credit cards on those key cards. So
yeah, we don't do that.
I'm always going to have my wallet on me anyway.
Yeah, because you can charge things to your Key to the World card, which personal preference, we don't do that. And I don't know.
I can understand the benefit though. If you're someone who wants to just walk around with that one card and not have to walk around with cash, not that we use cash or credit cards or anything. But I always like having my credit cards and ID on me at all times. So like I wouldn't be comfortable just walking around with the Key to the World card or the cruise ship card. Like I'm just that's not how I'm living. So,
no, we're just not about the lanyards. So we just don't think you need them.
Serves no purpose. Well, yeah.
Well, you said
not
you
the way we
understand.
operate.
You could.
I can understand if you want to be a walletless person.
But you want to wear that thing around your neck? Not me. I'm not about that life. But yeah, so I don't think you need it. I like to have a fanny pack. Also, like, where are you putting your phone? Like, why wouldn't you just put your key to the world card with your phone? Like,
a lot of people put money behind their phone case these days. So
yeah, people actually put it like on their actual phone. I don't do that. So I have like a fanny pack I usually carry around with me on the ship. So I keep my phones in there. I keep my wallet in there, my sunglasses just on my person. So I don't think you need a lanyard. I think it's just excess. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Next up, and Johnny is passionate about this one. It is the double wide stroller. But listen, we're going to pack it because we don't have a choice.
Right.
But if you can avoid packing it, you probably want to.
Well, you're going to have no use for it on the actual boat. It can't make itself up and down the hallways in any kind of convenient way. No. It will take up the entire hallway.
Yep.
No, if there's anybody coming the other direction, you will have to scoot yourself all the way back to where you started with the elevator banks.
Yeah.
If the housekeeping
the
cart is in, then you're stuck on that as well. Sometimes it's tough to make some of the turns when the hallways pivot down another hallway.
Learn from our mistakes, guys.
So what we do is we have to bring the double stroller, but that gets folded up and slides under a bed or stuck in a closet.
We live in the closet. So we have a combi. If you want to check out my stroller setup, I go through all of that, but it like folds in on itself. So we were able to put it in the closet. But anyway, so yeah, don't bring the double wide, or just know if you're going to bring it, you can, but we wouldn't advise you.
You can't make it around the ship.
No,
it
you
is
really
impossible.
Can't. Yeah.
If there's anything in the hallway, you cannot make it. Oh, the other thing, not even just the carts. You know what was the biggest thing?
The luggage.
Before people go into their staterooms, all the luggage gets put outside the door. So if there's anybody, and there's tons of people, but if there's even one person who hasn't brought their luggage in yet, you can't get the stroller down the hallway. So
next up is a sound machine. If you have little ones, or even if you're someone who likes sound machines, so we don't have one in our bedroom, but like we can hear the kids' sound machine, and it's like if we wake up in the middle of the night because we forgot to put it on, we're like, oh, the kids' sound machine is not on. So if you're just someone who likes a sound machine, we don't use like an actual bulky sound machine. We use an app on our phone or the iPad. And listen, when you're in those small cruise rooms, really like you just want to have as minimal stuff as possible. So I'd say skip the sound machine and get the app on your phone. And if you're like, KJ, but like I want to be on my phone when my kids are sleeping, don't be on your phone. You're on vacation. Get off the phone.
We have people in the world today have so many different devices. If you don't have it on a phone,
put it on
an iPad. Put it on.
Just saying.
There's always an extra device to go around.
Tablet, something.
Yeah.
True. But I'm saying, if you only have your phone.
There might even be something on the TVs where you could play like, maybe not. I don't know.
But anyway, yeah. Don't need the sound machine. The next tip, which the thing that I don't think you should pack and that you don't need, and I'll tell you the alternative, would be a wrist strap for your GoPro. Now, we use a chest strap, and if you're wondering what we use that for, when you were on the Aquamouse, I was pregnant, so Johnny had to get the POV, and it was fine, right?
It was fine. It was obviously more useful than a wrist strap. The chest allows you to, shoot what's in front of you.
Yeah.
And you could use it not only on things like that at the parks, you can use it at places like Blizzard Beach, Typhoon Lagoon. You can use it on Tron, because all places where you can't actually hold something or have something on your wrist.
So, yeah, I advise using the chest strap. I think it's just easier than the wrist, because like I thought about getting the wrist strap, but it was like, how am I gonna like sit like this? Like, I mean, we're talking about Disney Cruise Line, but again, if you're talking about like Disney World water parks, you can't, I don't know, maybe you guys feel differently, but I think the wrist strap would just be more annoying and more trouble than it's worth. When I went on the Aqueduct, I wore the chest strap, and it was easy, and I didn't shoot my legs. I think I actually got the slide. So anyway, leave the wrist strap at home, get the chest strap. It's just much easier. And this final tip, and this one is probably the most important one. And I feel like people feel a way about this. Like they're either like really for it or not necessarily against it, but just like, they'll be like, why do we need that? And that is insurance. Now, I know you're not packing it per se, but I felt like insurance kind of went along with something you need to bring with you, if that makes sense. And the reason why I advise getting the travel insurance, not only does it cover if you cancel your cruise, like let's just say things happen. Maybe it's good things. Maybe you find out you're pregnant and you booked your cruise a while ago and you can only go up until the 24-week mark. So let's just say it's not going to line up. You want to be able to cancel. Or, maybe you got a new job and you can't go. Or you could get sick, or just what have you. Whatever the circumstances are, you can no longer go. It's good to have the travel insurance. In addition to that, let's say you still go on the cruise. if you have medical insurance, regardless of the plan that you have, it does not cover you on that cruise. So if you see a doctor on that cruise, if you don't have the travel insurance, you are paying out of pocket. And from what I've heard, it's a pretty steep fee.
I actually didn't know that part. Is
No?
that right? I did not know that.
Yeah.
But if you have the travel insurance and you see a doctor, it's covered?
It's covered. I don't know if it's 100%. Definitely call your travel agent or check Disney's website, but I do know that it covers at least partial versus
that's
nothing.
Worth having
Yeah.
almost just for that.
Yeah. Because I've heard some horror stories of people who didn't have it and they just went like, oh, my kid's coughing, and then they have like a huge bill at the end of their cruise. So just saying, I think it's totally worth it. Whether
cruises are so expensive, I don't know. I'm not usually a big insurance person on anything outside of like homes and cars. Like I'm not the person that's buying appliance insurance or TV insurance, but it's the one thing that I do find beneficial because I don't think it's overly expensive for the overall cost of the cruise. And second, like you said, anything can happen. So just that peace of mind to know that you're not going to be out several $1,000s if life interferes with your ability to take the cruise. Does it cover? And now I'm going off script here. Does it cover if you try to fly day of and you miss the departure?
I think so. I think if you miss the cruise, I'm not 100%.
That's also interesting. Like if travel impedes, we don't ever travel day of.
Right.
We're not risk averse.
No.
Or we are risk averse.
Yes.
So we always travel day or days before.
Yeah.
But for those who aren't coming from far away or just trying to save the money on another night of hotel and try to fly in morning of.
We don't advise this though.
I would not advise. But to know that the insurance does cover.
I'm not 100% on that.
Oh, we have to look into that.
Yeah.
We would never dare do that.
But it would be good to know.
Yeah.
So if you do know, let us know in the comments down below because I'm not 100%. I'm leaning towards yes, but I could also see it being no. But I don't know. We'll have to.
Listen, we've taken cruises where we had to come from West Palm Beach to get to Fort Lauderdale. We could have got a flat tire.
True.
Anything can happen.
Yeah, and if you're wondering why, it's because the airport that we fly out of does not go direct. And when you have little kids, you really don't want to have to change planes. So
yeah, and it's a quick drive from West Palm Beach.
Yeah, it was like 40 minutes. But anyway, those are our unpopular, controversial Disney Cruise Line packing tips. Let us know in the comments down below. What do you agree with? What do you disagree with? Are there any other unpopular / controversial tips that you have? Let us know in the comments down below. And if you made it all the way to the end of the video, leave us a little exclamation point in the comments down below, since this is like, I don't know, I feel like it just deserves an exclamation point. And if you liked today's video, please
give it a thumbs up.
Subscribe if you're new and you like the content. And with that, we'll see you guys real soon. Bye.
See you on the ship.